Oh, God! I mean, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy Challenge. I, your host, Zigguroy, will take you through Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. And definitely not smash my Stream Deck into the desk. That won't happen. So, I'm actually kind of excited for this point in the game, and the reason why is because I screwed up. Okay, so there's a reason why we're playing the Switch version of this game, and that is because it allows you to change out your job classes, your license boards. So in the normal PlayStation 2 game, everybody shared the same kind of license board, which meant everybody was every class. So that was kind of neat early on because everybody was like branching off into different things, kind of like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X. But then what the problem was is that when you got late game, everybody mastered everything, and there was no difference from your mages to your knights to your lancers to what have you. So to combat that, they created the Zodiac Age version of the game. Came out in Japan very early on PlayStation 2. We never saw that version here in America until Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age came out for like PlayStation 4, PC, Switch, and Xbox One. PS4, the PC version, basically got HD remake versions of the Zodiac Age on PS2 that Japan got back in the day. Switch and Xbox One, though, they got a updated version of the same game because they came out a year later from the PS4 and PC, and they allowed you to go in and change these. So what they started doing was creating this job this job system. So instead of having one license board shared by all characters, meaning that everybody became a master of everything, they took chunks of that license board, ripped it out, and sat it on its own. So if you were going to be a knight, you only had access to the knight portion stuff of that big license board. Now you had to select that knight, lock in, and you were stuck on it, and you couldn't change, right? The Switch and the Xbox One version of this game allowed you to switch those license boards. So you could change this. You weren't committed to it. Now that's great because I forgot that I already made Penelo a white mage and I made Ash a white mage, which means that if we were playing the normal version of Zodiac Age, we would have two white mages and we'd probably have to restart the game because you have no black mage. We have nobody who can cast black magic to take care of like physically resistant monsters that are only weak to magic. We would have screwed that up royally. So that's why we did the Switch version, because now I can go fix Penelo and turn her into a black mage. But because we're on the Switch version, we had no 60 frames a second, which was kind of a bummer. But guess what happened yesterday? They patched the PS4 and the PC version of the game. It's been years, and we thought they're never going to do it. They would have done it by now. Because it's been years since this version with the job change system came out. Why wouldn't they just go ahead and just do it? And then yesterday they did, after I put in 2 streams on the Switch version. So we could have had 60 frames a second and job changing. They waited, Lady Acorn. They waited. They're like, wait, no. That Zig guy? Wait till he's 20 hours into the game. Yes, Zodiac version it's the same license system if you're familiar with OG Final Fantasy XII, but the license board in the original Final Fantasy XII was this, but massive, and everybody sat on the same board, and you guys could like bump into each other. But that meant that like starting off as a Shikari, which is kind of like a ninja, Shikari probably, with Vaughn, I could get over into Knight stuff and Black Mage and White Mage. So eventually, after you've put enough time into the game, every character had mastered everything, which is terrible, because that means for late game, it was really just the 3 character models that you liked seeing the most, because everybody's stats blended together. So you're just like, okay, I guess I'll just run with the 3 characters I like the most. And it had nothing to do with specialties or job class or like functionality. So then when the Zodiac Age version came out, they split up the board and you had to commit to one class. And if you didn't know anything about the game, you could commit incorrectly. You could commit poorly. Like I did here with 2 white mages, but that's okay. Because we can change jobs. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We just got the entire party together. And what we're going to do is head east here to Rabanastre. We're supposed to head to... I believe we're supposed to head to the south. But this is kind of like an intermission portion of the game. We've just escaped the Empire and on one of their Star Destroyers. I'm sorry, I meant airships. And we now have a little bit of free play time to where we can go to Rabanastre and change out our job class. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. That is a giant fucking bird. What's up, Noah? How you doing? Cowdy, welcome. Throw the stream out the window. Let's start over. Alright, what's this burb doing? Can we fight this burb? The Dive Talon. We got a couple bow wows over there. Questions? What's up? Yes. I can't tell you. We did it when we moved. I've also answered that question probably like 5 times. You keep thinking we have it. We don't have it anymore. There's a big part of your life. Sorry, wife's asking questions. What, you want to do breakfast, babe? Okay. Yeah, I guess that works. Oh, breakfast burrito. Sausage, egg, and cheese. Is that a possibility? Is that not a possibility? Spiky horse here. What's going on with this guy? Seen any good 2020 predictions made a decade ago? No. That's such a specific question. I still stand by it that the Aztecs had predicted the end of the world. It was just somebody was dyslexic. And they really meant 2020, but... Or no, what is it, 2021, but they put 2012. Now, here's a question if anybody's familiar with Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. I don't think XP is shared to those of the party that are not currently being played, but is LP the license points? Because I feel like Canelo has a shit ton of license points and she hasn't been in the party for a while. So they could have just gave her a chunk to keep her caught up. Nikola Tesla predicted in 1937 that alcohol would have replaced tobacco, tea, and coffee by 2020. Well, I mean, it didn't replace it, but we do drink a lot more alcohol. I mean, I guess in a way, because we have alcoholic coffees, we don't have alcoholic teas. That's not a thing that we do. What is this? Look at this. This guy fucked us up last time. Now I got a full party, you big nerd. Let's go. Parried, huh? Man, this game is... So, like, young Zig was totally correct. But for young Zig to be mad about it, I get why I was at the time. The reason why I didn't play Final Fantasy XII is because it was an offloaded MMO. And this is totally... I am playing a single-player MMO right now. This is so MMO-y. But now I look at it, and as an adult I evaluate it and go, why is that a problem? I felt gypped back then. I felt like I got robbed. And you know what? That's gonna be a big theme as we go through the final, the history of gaming Zelda series. A big portion of the games of Zelda that were considered bad is because of expectations, and the expectations of that point in time. What people expected the game to be when it came out, and what it actually ended up being. Final Fantasy XII was one of those things. Final Fantasy X was this big, huge success. Everybody was ready to play Final Fantasy XI when it came out, and it had this different style. It was an MMO, and so like it kind of was divisive for the Final Fantasy community. Like half the people liked it, and then the other half was like, no, I want my old turn-based Final Fantasy back, like I had on 10. So when 12 was coming out, all the players who were like, oh, I tried 11, didn't like it, I'm out, were like, great, Final Fantasy 12 is gonna be my game because it's a single player offline. I'm gonna get my turn-based game back. That's why we were upset back then. Expectations were not met, you know? We were expecting turn-based, we got something else. That's why we were upset. But now you go back and you play these old games where you have no expectations. You know a little bit of what you're getting into. That's pretty fun. It's good. Mail will be delivered within hours from New York to California to Britain to India to Australia by guided missiles. We stand on the threshold of rocket mail. That's the kind of person who would look at email and be like, well, I was kind of right. Or the drones delivering stuff. Rocket mail. The amount of dead people because of rocket mail. Toxically says those people were happy to die to make progress. Phoenix down, boyo. I do have to say, though, that, like, as far as being somebody who's streaming and completing to, like, Zig percent or 99% completion of every single Final Fantasy game, I do have to say that I do appreciate the RNG of the loot in this one. There's treasure chests, they randomly spawn, they're not predetermined, and what they have in them is not predetermined. It's just completely, utterly random, which means there's none of this, like, I have to check every single map before I leave it on the guide, and be like, okay, I didn't miss any important chests. I don't have to do that with this game. It's so much more relaxing. Alright, 1900, there will be no C, X, or Q in our everyday alphabet. They will be abandoned. I could almost see that for X. But see? Chat. How can that cunt think that? X I could see, though. I could totally see why you said that about X. Q, though? That guy had to be a linguist or something, right? Because linguists talk about the letters that get removed over time. I was thinking the other day, right? We have all these letters in the alphabet. And the name of the letter is kind of after the sound that it makes, right? He was a railroad engineer. He had no business talking about letters. Shut up. So, you know, we have A, because it makes the sound A, and B, you know, it matches the configuration of your mouth when you make those sounds. B, C, well, C does a lot more ch. But anyways, you see my point, all the letters. Then I was thinking about W. I was like, who the fuck thought W needed to be added? And they're like, I don't know what to call it. And then when they were making it, they used to draw it more like two U's, so they called it W. Like, it just, everything's a letter, everything's got a name, and then there's this guy, W. It's just so literal. And then over the years, it's changed, and now it really should be called Double V. But we don't call it Double V anymore, do we? We still call it W. H doesn't sound like H, but H sounds like what H does for other letters. Like chocolate, H, H, ch. It does that. Because if you just took the letter by itself, though, H would be pronounced. What's up, Groucho Marx? Tom Watson, 1943. I think there's a world market for maybe 5 computers. I remember one guy saying, there's just no reason why people would have a computer in their home. He says there's no reason for a family to own a computer. What? Now, based on the way computers were back then, and the foreseeable future of how computers could be improved upon, yeah, he was totally right. Computers were frickin' these massive, massive pieces of machinery that it was just so industrial. Why would a family ever need that at home? But now, like, my smartphone, my work computer, my gaming computer, I got a laptop leaning up against the wall over there. And then all these video game there's probably like 10 video game consoles in this room that could be considered computers. Alright, we're headed for the clan hall. Wow, I didn't know all this shit got me rewarded. Kupo Popo, spin Grady, Great Zodiac spin, to Stardust be gone. Alright, cool. So we just undid Canello's license board. Now we're gonna make her a black mage. Or if the change in license board influenced 14 to change classes. I wonder, because that's one of the most decisive things about Final Fantasy XIV, right? Like, you only need one character. That's it. So, the actuality of it is, the biggest problem with Final Fantasy VII from a design standpoint was they didn't know how to... So World of Warcraft actually became very successful for having multiple characters. And the reason why is because Blizzard developed a piece of proprietary technology that didn't become widely known until like 2010, which was auto-archival, safe auto-archival to a compressed data file of characters. So when you don't log into a character for more than, I think it's, I don't know what it is now, but back in the day, it was like a week. If you spent 7 days not logging into a character, let's say your alt, right? Like I made a paladin, my alt was a warlock. Well, I don't play the warlock that often, so if I didn't log into him for 7 days back in the vanilla days, they would auto-compress and archive my warlock. And then they deleted him from the server. So my warlock wasn't in World of Warcraft anymore. The connection to like sending him mail and stuff could still work, but he was deleted off the server so that the servers could stay light and move and stay efficient. And then when I would log in on the warlock, what would happen is the server would automatically reach out, it would unarchive the warlock. And that's why if you, back in the day, people talk about like, man, if you don't log into a character for a long time, it takes forever for it to load. That was the reason why, is because it was loading that character from this backup server. Final Fantasy XI hit a lot of trouble when it got real big and popular because they didn't know how to do that. So they started charging people for making more than one character. You only had one character slot, you know? And so all those characters, they got to exist on the server. And so these servers got massive because people were making all these alts and nobody was playing them. And so it was just this useless data. But then if you go through and tell people we're going to delete your characters after 30 days if you don't keep playing them, people got pissed. They didn't know how to handle it. So one of the initial design elements for Final Fantasy XIV up front was, well, why do people play multiple characters instead of just one? Well, they want to play the different classes. Just let one character be all the classes. Now, when you look at Final Fantasy XIV, aside from a look, you don't need more than one character. The stat difference between the races is so minuscule even at high levels. Like, reality, you only need one tune. So, I remember hearing about that in a design thing, but I wonder if you know, Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age, which came out really, really far before, I think, 14 was even on the design board. I think because 13 hadn't even been discussed when they released it in Japan because it was a PS2 launch. But yeah, like, I wonder if that's what, like, sparked the idea. You just don't need alts. Like, unless you're like, well, I really like my human, but I also want to really have like a dragon dude or whatever they call him, the R-Raw or whatever, you know, or I want a bunny girl. Like, it's strictly looks. Like, it's the only reason you would do it. Almost strictly looks, right? Like, there's a lot of min-maxers out there that are like, actually, I have 0.001 increased crit rate by using this class with this specific race. Okay, all right. All right, calm down. It's actually not frigid outside. Gonna go for a walk soon. It was 45 yesterday. Now it's 65 and sunny. Nice. Let's get an exclamation point weather. What do we got here in Arizona? I'm sure it's probably terrible already. Thanks, I hate it. It is 94 degrees. Fuck. How do you get over here? You know what I mean? I gotta do this. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. Quickenings under the Mist command in the battle menu. Each character can learn up to 3 quickenings. Great components. 44 here, Zig. How about we trade each other for a bit? I would take it. I would take it. I would. No question. After dealing magic damage? Damn. Alright, we're out of points. You had a little rain there today? Oh, we would have. I would have loved it. Yeah, I would have. End of story. Yeah, let's go for the health. Might as well. Okay, Fran, our girl. Who's my favorite FF12 character so far? I think it's a tie between Balthier and Fran, and that's mostly because like Balthier and Fran are kind of a package deal character-wise. I think it's Balthier. I mean, how could you not like him? The gauntlets will be important once we get there. This health turns into health. Cool. Gideon Emery. Gideon Emery. Let me see if I recognize the name, but I don't recognize his work. That's why. I recognize his face immediately. What has he been in? He was in Daredevil, 2015. He's Lorthamar. He's got a lot of, like, backup character voice acting. He's got a lot of Final Fantasy XIV stuff, too. Maybe not a lot, but he's got stuff. Order 1886. Oh, what a failed game, man. What a failed game. Alright, let's go. Order 1886, you loved that game? That game was, like, what game that was there, I adored. Yes, correct. But there wasn't a lot of game there. The Victorian werewolf game, yeah. That game was, like, all of, like, 4 hours. But it was gorgeous, and its combat was like it was passable. It was just Gears of War combat. But yeah, that game. Oh yeah, very linear, extremely linear. There's no RPG system, no expansive, so you can't weapon craft, you can't get better, you can't specialize. It was just very Gears of War. You pick up the gun, you shoot it, and you move on to the next point. Pick up the gun, you shoot it. And then the game was over. It was just... They created a world that I was very interested in. I was interested in a Victorian-style military werewolf thing. Oh my god, I love that. But, like, it just was received so poorly, like, it's never gonna get any support. It'll never get a sequel. Like... That's a game that I want to see go AAA, right? I want to see a good full budget put on a game like that and have somebody take a good solid college try on it. Yeah, the Arthurian legend stuff was all reborn with. It was cool. It had a lot of flavor to it, but not enough game to show off that flavor. Magic. But because it was so short, the reviews shit all over it. We'll never see anybody come back and work on it ever again. Which sucks. $2,000? Your first platinum? I didn't get anywhere close to platinum in that thing. That'd be 3,200, and I don't have the... I'm good with Cure for right now. Yeah, there's been rumors. I haven't seen anything for that. I'd be down. I did hear about the DLC stuff that never got published, which was stupid. Oh shit, hold on. We never did this. Equip silence. honestly, they should have done like these companies are starting to see that we are acceptable and agreeable to redos. They should have took that game, put all the DLC content back in it, and then re-released it with even more stuff added in now. You know, and like really gave us back like a solid game. Oh, Iron Sword's gonna be better than what you're using right now, dude? Bottom line is... Ugh, we need to... take a look. What's my next hunt that I'm on right now? Hunting a Wraith, rank 1. Garum Scythe Waterway near the entrance from Lowtown. So let's go and actually try to do that. Slipnir. So, a little frustrated that you have to wait for the character model to load. See, it didn't even... Maybe you don't have to wait for the character model. I think you have to read all of the text. That's what it is. Oh my god, I'm not doing that. I'm out. That's the equivalent of achievements in this game. Alright. Now, last time we tried this, we absolutely got all hooked up. We're gonna try this again. We hunting wabbits. Ugh. Because the guide says I can do all the way up to hunt number 7, and we're on hunt number 4? I think it was. So we got a lot of, like, side questing we can do today. Let's see, who in the party needs to be in rotation? Ron. Really, it's Van and Balthier need to be in. And Ash. The Garma Scythe Waterways. And we're looking for a Wraith here. Oh shit. Okay, she got Doom on her. That's a problem. Okay, we're casting Doom on everybody. Is she healing him?
Yeah.
Trying very hard to Doom Balthier. You got him.
Yeah.
Well, attack. Because he went invisible for just enough to drop my attack. Okay. Okay, cool. Do you think this challenge would have been as enjoyable if you didn't stream it? Like, would you recommend others trying this? The majority of pleasure that I've gotten from this challenge is an immense amount of pride of getting them all beat. And a good chunk of that is because I have proof. I shared it all. You know, it's all been streamed. It's all there. It can't be debated that it was done. I know, that's a really good question. A really solid question. With the Final Fantasy challenge, would I recommend other people do it? I think the biggest thing that you can gain from this, aside from the pride of like I killed off all those games, I beat them all, is kind of understanding and being part of the inside joke, not the inside joke, but I guess maybe the memes. And I mean that more in the actual, like, academical word of the of meme, not what, because academically meme means a agreed upon cultural understanding that needs no explanation. And a lot of things are actually memes. I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, Kilroy. Kilroy was the first meme. In Vietnam, was World War II, actually. The little drawing, you draw a line, you put that guy's nose and his eyes and the little hands. It didn't mean anything. It just meant that, like, American soldiers had been nearby and they would spray paint it or draw it onto the side of buildings and stuff after the army had gone through. And nobody, like, really had to talk about it. There was no instruction manual to what it was. It just meant the boys were here, and whoever those boys were, you know, it changed, and it was a meme, just a cultural understanding across the board that nobody had to explain to you. So, in Final Fantasy, there's memes in the sense that Sid is in every game, and he's usually an engineer. Biggs and Wedge is there, and they're usually buddies in some way, and they're usually comedic relief. You know, the fact that when you see a bomb, they don't have to explain to you, like, when you hit it, it's going to get closer to blowing up. Like, all of these things are cultural knowings of Final Fantasy as a franchise. And kind of knowing where stuff came from, that's kind of cool. That's the next most enjoyable part of doing this. And I would say that you don't need to play every single Final Fantasy to be able to capitalize on that. So, even from, like, a history lesson perspective, if you're wanting to go through and, like, see, you know, really, where did the series come from? You could skip 2. Like, I'd play 1, I'd skip 2, I'd skip 3, I'd play 4, I'd skip 5, I'd play 6. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there that has, 1, either not aged well, or 2, just really doesn't have any significance on the series as a whole. You know, you don't need to go through and play all of Final Fantasy V just to realize that Final Fantasy V was the first time the Chocobo song showed up. The that whole thing started in Final Fantasy V. Nothing else, or you're not going to gather anything else from that game. You know. 6 is worth playing. 7, 8, 9. 7, 9. I guess 8's worth playing on this remake they just did. They really did a lot of fixes with it, but that story is god-awful. So, to answer another part of the question, Final Fantasy VIII, would it have been enjoyable if I wasn't streaming it? Absolutely not. I had legitimate, authentic-ass motherfucking fun playing Final Fantasy VIII only because we streamed it. Oh, I would have put it down out of a fit of rage at some point and never picked it back up. But streaming it makes you keep playing it. Can't tell you how easy it is to be like, I don't feel like playing Final Fantasy today, and just not playing it. And then I would have never finished the series. But the commitment to, like, people are gonna question why I'm not playing it today. They're gonna give me a hard time. Like, just that little bit of a nudge keeps me... It makes me accountable. It makes me committed. It makes me obligated to play it. And for me, a lot of times with games, it's just getting it turned on. The instant I got it turned on and I got the controller in my hand and I'm playing, I'm good. I can keep rolling and I can play it all day and I'm fine with that. But that, like, I gotta pull it out of the closet, pop it into the Switch. That little nudge that I need is you guys, and you know, like Noah showing up like yesterday, like, man, I'm so excited for Final Fantasy 12. You know, that stuff energizes me to get in here and do this. First World Renoa Problems was my favorite. I think, oh my god, the amount of, like, content, like the number of clips that came out of Final Fantasy VIII. The hot topic love. Drake and Pone, were you here for all this stuff that we're talking about with Final Fantasy VIII? The shit that came out of Final Fantasy VIII was hilarious. Hot topic love was probably my most watched clip from every Final Fantasy game ever. You came sometime during 9. Okay. Let me see if I can find the clip real quick. First off, we'll do a little bit of clip watching here. What? Oh, you look gorgeous, my love. Alright, I can't tell you guys how disappointed I am that we did a clip of the year for 2019 and you picked the one clip where I wasn't the person who was funny, it was the wife. When I play, I think I'm going to restart again, and then for my favorite thing, I think I'm going to say anal, so that it will be anal.
What are you going to do for your favorite food? Eat some ass and go to bed.
Eat some ass and go to bed!
Moms know these things.
That was 2019's clip of the year.
Fucking thing.
She is so pleased with herself right now. Walking around cracking up. When I play, I think I'm going to restart again, and then... Alright, so, where was... Where's our clip of the year thing that we were doing? Oh, we have it in announcements. We didn't put it in the Stream on its channel. I'll find it here real quick. Now that I'm in the right channel. Here it is. How Boy Met Girl. This was... This right here is my most played Final Fantasy in general clip. This is the most played. This isn't even a Hot Topic love. Like, Hot Topic love still has more backstory to it. He likes My Chemical Romance, and I do too, so we're pretty much soulmates. This is like... Renoa's in the corner going... And Squall's like, God, I love that woman. And I stand by it. I stand by it. Renoa is socially inept. She is a sociopath. She's nothing short of a goddamn maniac. And Squall's just like, God damn, I love that weird fucking coat she wears. Like, he just is infatuated with her. He hates her for half the fucking game. And then out of nowhere, everybody goes, you should love her, you should love her. And he goes, well, fuck, I guess I love that bitch. Final Fantasy VIII was fucking hilarious. She wore him down. It's like, well, I may as well. You done it, defeated the Wraith. Thank you so much. The ghost is gone? Oh my god. Alright, that's not a small kid. You said it was a small kid that was afraid. That is a pig boy. My son locked up in a vacant house, but now as well. It's be hard. Snort. Again, the worst impression. I apologize. Please take this, and thanks for your successful hunt. There is something there from Jovia friend as well. 500 gil, ether, gauntlets. What's up, Nickish? Last ways. I didn't get out of the school area when I played it like 10 years ago. I'll tell you, I have played and restarted Final Fantasy VIII in my entire life, probably 6-7 times, and I did the same thing. Like, I'd barely get out of the school area and just quit playing it. Barely get out of the school area and quit playing it. It's just... And a good portion of what I don't like about Final Fantasy VIII is not its fault. I do not care for high school kids saving the world stories. Actually, now that we just recently played through Tidus and Yuna, as far as like storytelling goes, Final Fantasy X is one of the better told. Final Fantasy XII has been the best told, maybe not the best story so far. Pretty good story. But it's not, it's the best told, as in like, you're not having to read subtext and like, finish in the gaps in your head. Like, you're not having to do that. Like, it's conveying and its pacing is being done well in Final Fantasy XII. 10 was good too. No, there's actual like legitimate moments between Tidus and Yuna, and Yuna's like, I gotta be this person who's like this summoner, and Tidus is like, fuck that, let's be weird and have fun, and she's like, okay, and like he wears her down, and he's just trying to be positive. But then like they have these small moments here and there, and really the big thing is when Tidus finds out, and his name has always been Titus to me, but god damn it, Tidus realizes he cares when Yuna said she was going to marry Seymour, and she was doing it just to bring hope and happiness to the people of Spira. And as a character, he changed at that moment. He didn't realize he loved her, and then when he had an opportunity to lose her, it upset him. And that's also the same point where Lulu and Waka stop telling him to not have ideas, and they start telling him, well, if you're going to say something to her. Like, everybody else in the party starts shifting too, because they don't want to see her marry Seymour, so now they're like, Tidus should try and stop Yuna. It's technically Tidus, and that just makes him sound so much stupider, and I hate it. I just, Titus is just what I've always called him. Because the name Titus, Titus, exists out there, and it's pronounced that way. It's just weird that we would go Tidus out of nowhere. And he put on... Reduce physical damage taken when HP critical. Man, I mean, that's kind of a... Oh, it's got defense 1 on it, too. It's true. But I mean, like, they also have, like, Squall and Renoa's romantic moment is everybody manipulating and harassing Squall into going to a location where she can ambush him and steal his personal stuff. She steals shit from him, and then that's really it. And then they just talk for a second. Like, Titus and Yuna, they They got the dance in the lake that they do. They share a kiss. You know, like, they actually have, like, these romantic moments where they're alone, not just very high school stupid nonsense happening. And again, like, that's, a lot of that has to do with me, not liking. But this? Oh, okay. I don't like the whole high school thing. I don't like high school stories, and I have a very good reason for it. I do not believe in any fantasy setting that children that are going to an academy school are going to be the most appropriate and apt people to deal with a worldwide issue. Persona's not my kind of game either. Because here's the thing. Like, was it School of the... well, there's School of the Dead, which was a very almost hentai-ish fucking game. That's its own deal. I wasn't even thinking of that one. But what's the see, Harry Potter drives me up a wall too, but Harry Potter takes effort to fix what I'm talking about. And Hero Academia does in spades to correct my issue with high school stories and video games and stuff like that. The one that I'm thinking of that does it really well, Hero Academia, and there's Soul Eater, the anime Soul Eater. So, like, the whole point is, like, here's where my issue is that we present Final Fantasy VIII and a lot of other high school animes and video games and stuff like that present that these I remember how stupid I was in high school. I was fucking useless as a human being, okay? I failed to do a lot of things, like feed myself and drive a vehicle correctly, let alone save the goddamn planet, right? And these stories will present to us that the best people, our greatest chance of succeeding and saving entire worlds, like Inuyasha does this, is some high school kid. Not the parents. Well, I could feed myself, but, like, all I did was eat, like, junk food. Like, I ate nothing healthy in high school is my point. I couldn't feed myself correctly. Could definitely feed myself, though. But the parents, the adults in all of these environments and all these stories are fucking useless. No, if you live in a world where there's an academy that teaches people to be super powerful badasses, for example, that means there's somebody else who's, graduated from that high school who's more appropriately ready to deal with this situation. That's why My Hero Academia and Soul Eater, and then Harry Potter to an extent, address this. Dumbledore is a badass, and he's doing a lot to save people. Snape's doing a lot of stuff to save people. And My Hero Academia is all about the students being weak, and the teachers are the ones that are the complete badasses. And to have those kids get in fights, that is a challenge for them. They are appropriately removing the teachers from those chunks of the story to allow that to happen. It's not this whole, like, oh, All Might can't fight anymore because this kid's fucking amazing, and all the other people who've been graduating from the Hero Academy for years and years and years and years and years are all suddenly useless because this new character came into the story. None of that crap happens, like, and that's why I appreciate those stories. But this whole idea that, like, nobody else is capable of handling this situation except for these high school students, and why? Because they're high school students, and we want you to relate to them. Because it's directed to high school kids. So yeah, Persona does a good chunk of that. And I don't know Persona that well, so there might be like a, like, we're the old Personas and we've come back to help. What's another good one that does it? I think that Naruto gets into it a little bit. Like, yeah, there's teachers that are more powerful than Naruto when it starts off, but, like, this whole, like, prodigy student thing starts to happen with Naruto, and so, like, fuck everybody else's power level, it doesn't matter, But it's just like, kids? You're just kids. It's just, I don't know. Like, it rubbed me the wrong way real early on, but, like, I think My Hero Academia does it great because the kids are weak and not in control of their powers, and that's the way it should be, and we're teaching them to be as good as like the rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 fighters and all that stuff. Like, that's really cool. That's sick story. Yeah. Chosen One stories, there needs to be a reason. I need to have a reason why there's a Chosen One story. Like, Dragon Ball, I think, is good. And you just brought up Goku, yeah. Goku grew up to become an adult hero, but there's a reason why Goku is the Chosen One. It's because he's not human. He's a Saiyan. He's from a different planet. And then what happens is he runs into another Saiyan and he gets his ass kicked, right? Like, so there's... The thing that's beautiful about Dragon Ball is Goku loses a fucking lot. If you really think about that story, Goku's dead half the fucking time. Like, he's constantly getting the floor wiped with himself. And then he becomes stronger. That's Goku's story. That's his thing. He's not just like a chosen one. But like, Naruto, I don't care for this chosen one thing. Bleach, really, I never got into because there's just too much story to it. But like, prophesized chosen one and there's no reason why. Okay. Like, I need something to feed off of. Like, oh, there was a secret bloodline that we now know you're related to, and that's the reason why you're so powerful. Or, I even think Harry Potter's fine. Like, why is Harry Potter the chosen one? It's a little weak and cheesy, but like, oh, his mom and dad loved him so much. That's the reason why he's the chosen one. Not just because he is. There was a thing that happened that made him the best person to fight Voldemort, right? Like, it's the love was the greatest spell. That whole thing it's cool. That's, you know, it's a little bit on the nose, but good. I like it. Yeah, chosen ones, not super into it. I do like stories of fate. I was just telling the wife the other day, like, I love stories of fate because being a war history buff, like, all of our wars in human history, they always have this one, like, tiny little itty-bitty thing that happened that really shouldn't have, and it changed the course of history. For example, France scouted and saw the oncoming blitzkrieg from Germany during World War II. They saw the tanks coming in the back, and they were stuck in the mud, and they could have just absolutely destroyed the entire armor division of the German military. And their planes looked right at it. And then what happened? You'd think that'd be the end of it. That'd be the end of World War II right there. Because that fighter pilot, that scouting pilot came back, reported it, and what did the head of the military of France do at the time? He went, no, that's crazy. They would never do that. You must have been mistaken. And then he blew off the intel report. And then what happens? France, which at that point in time was the greatest military power in the world, gets blitzkrieged right up to the front door of Paris, and they go, we don't want you to destroy our art. We surrender. The biggest, hardest hitting motherfucker in World War II gets knocked out immediately because one guy decides to go, you were mistaken. What if he said, let's double check, and send another scouting pilot out, and they go, yeah, it's still there. Okay, while their tanks are stuck in the mud, let's do a bombing run and end this war right now. Holocaust would have never fucking happened, right? Like, all of history fucking changes permanently because of that one moment, right? So that's why one of my favorite stories of all time is Lord of the Rings. That story is covered toe-to-toe with these, like, one-off chances where people are barely missing each other, and if they didn't turn and do this at this time, everything would have fallen apart, and if, you know, if Gollum didn't steal the ring at one point, then it would have been taken by the orcs when he gets hit by the spider. Like, there's just so many little, like, oh, fuck. Chance fates have changed the way the story played out, you know? I love that kind of stuff. It's just these one-off chances that changed everything. Alright, so we're going back to the mines. Which is good. I like the mines. Okay, so... how do I get back there? Do I go to the airport again? Yeah, so I mean, to bring all that back to make sense why we went on that rant. That was part of the problem with Final Fantasy VIII. Like, why are we not deploying more competent, more experienced people to deal with this? Like, why are we letting children run government agencies and entire military operations? Yeah, I mean, a story completely playing out different ways is incredibly awesome. Final Fantasy VII Remake has a lot of that. Like, whole quest lines are different based on your choices. Like, a totally different game is played, and that's amazing. Witcher does it great. I probably played through Witcher cover to cover 3 times, did it once for the stream, and I just recently watched Burke Black, great streamer, he's a late night streamer, I just watched him play through it, and he made a bunch of bad decisions and did nothing to try and, like, encourage Ciri throughout that entire game. And I saw completely different endings to that game I had never seen, and I played that game cover to cover twice. And his playthrough was like, fuck, like at the end of mine, it's all like, you know, rainbows and sunshine. And Burke's ending, Ciri's dead, and Geralt gives up on life and goes and sits down in the fucking Hags' old hut and lets a bunch of monsters come in and just eat him alive. He just commits suicide by monster. I was like, holy fucking shit, I had no idea that there was this much of a different storyline in this game. I was blown away. What, like 6 years, 4 years after the game came out? Like, completely different experience. Yeah, like, he messed it up so bad. I felt so bad because he was like, face in his hands, and he's like, how far do I have to go back to change this? And they're like, you gotta go all the way back when you told her not to destroy the lab. You need to encourage her to destroy the lab. And he's like, that's like 30 hours ago. And he's like, we're not playing this again. And he just threw in the towel, but it was hilarious that, like, his playthrough was completely different than mine. Completely different. Ciri's dead. Yennefer's pissed. Geralt says, screw it. Geralt dies. Like, what? This is incredible. It was pretty neat. Now I want to kind of go and see, like, what are all the endings, you know? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, but what if I want to... That's what I want to do. I want to go over to that other area. Is it now Bina that I want to go to? How do I... No. World map. No, I want to go to Bujerba. So, how are they going to tackle the world map for the next Final Fantasy VII? So, I do not think you can do, here's the planet and here's a giant cloud walking on it, right? I honestly think that they're going to give us chocobos, vehicles, the motorcycle. They're gonna give us stuff, and it's just gonna be open world, and we're literally just gonna drive from Midgar to Calm. We're gonna just drive to Rocket Town. Like, it's just gonna be... We go, and then, like, when we hit the town, it will load, and then we load into that town. And I think each town, when you're inside the town playing the story, it's gonna be very linear and chapter-based, just like Final Fantasy VII Remake was, because Final Fantasy VII Remake was incredibly linear, which is okay, it should be, because the Midgard portion of FF7 Classic was linear. And for the story stints, like, you know, when we go to Rocket Town and find out what Shinra did, and we meet Sid, and we help him get the bucking Bronco going and stuff like that, like, that I'm cool with that being all linear and chapter-based, and then let me come back and explore it in free roam later, you know? But I honestly, like, if they do the next portion of FF7 as well as they did the first portion of it, yeah, it's just gonna be proper ratios. Maybe the fields won't be quite as big, like because Final Fantasy VII's towns are really spread apart from each other. So, like, they'll probably, like, kind of condense things a little bit, but they'll just make, like, a smaller map, but the same map. And we'll just drive. And then, like, we'll run into monsters and side quests from point A to point B. It's gonna be like Final Fantasy 15, but bigger. We're just gonna drive. Give us full control, you know? I don't know, go by Leisure Craft. Let's go. I think they could use a warp or teleport system, but they have to do it like they did in Final Fantasy VII Remake, where you unlock the Chocobo travel system after the game's over. I didn't mind the driving in 15. After you unlock it. When 15 starts, they don't let you control the game. They don't let you control the vehicle. But it's a couple, like, hours of gameplay in, you can control, you get to drive the car. And then you can't take the car off the road because it's not suited for off-road. But then you do get that off-road upgrade, and then it took too long to get to that point in 15, but it's in there though. Because then you can just go wherever the hell you want. That's my point, though. Once you get the off-road upgrade for the Regalia, you can, like, crash into buildings and stuff. Like, well, it doesn't blow up and you don't see damage and stuff, but you can drive into whatever you want to. It's just like driving the Chocobos after you get that off-road upgrade. And then there's, like, the fighter jet upgrade in that game, which I never even got that far. I mean, I don't need story. I don't need to do all this junk. I just want to get there. Sky Saloon. I think the off-road upgrade was in, but the whole fighter jet thing wasn't in there at launch. But maybe the off-road upgrade wasn't in there either. Because there was a lot of, like, updates and DLCs that came out for that game real fast. So it's hard for me to remember what was released and what wasn't. I'm excited for us to go through Final Fantasy 15. I'm really stoked for that game. Because we're going to do it all. We're going to do all that extra content. We're also going to watch Kingsglaive. We're going to watch Kingsglaive before we start playing the game too, so that everybody can get like the full experience. It's going to be cool. I don't like how it does that. The Prompto DLC point... Okay, so yeah, it wasn't at launch. Yeah, they added that in pretty quick then. Yeah, 15 was a very cool experience. It just... I feel like 15 was a lot of a learning experience for Square. Like, they learned a lot of things that worked. They learned some things that didn't. 15's important because whatever 16 is and everything that Final Fantasy VII Remake is benefiting from Final Fantasy 15. It was a very cinematic game. It was very pretty. You know what? I'm not buying any more gear because it's come back to bite me so far. Yeah, to say that Final Fantasy 15 delivers the same feel that people had when they played 7 for the first time. I've said it many times before. Us being ushered into the world of 3D is something that I cannot personally foresee ever being captured again. What it was for us to be a kid who played the NES and the Super Nintendo and grew up on 2D graphics, and the Super Nintendo had really good looking 2D graphics. And then the PlayStation 1 and the N64 come out. And the Sega Saturn to an extent. Those consoles come out, and we're seeing Link in 3D, and the camera's going through Kakariko Village, and we're seeing Cloud jump off of a train that just pulled into a station, and like you're fighting 3D models of characters. The whole like, boom, this is 3D, was so mind-blowing. And so impressive, and so just game-changing, literally, on such a huge scale. VR. I think an affordable, consumer-friendly, easy to set up. It would have to be way cheaper and way better games, and they would have to figure out how to make us not sick in it, and work with people who have glasses better and have better motion control. Basically, if they perfected the VR element, that would be the only thing. That would be the next step. That'd be the next step. Introduction to cutscenes is something like, yeah. Yeah, these new systems, they're just doing higher resolution and more models on screen, which is stuff that we've seen happen before. It's just the numbers getting bigger, right? It's like somebody saying, like, we've invented a whole new kind of pizza. And we're like, okay, what are they doing? They're like, I don't know, Like, here's this new spice we added. And we go, oh my god, this fucking changes pizza. And then the next time they're like, here comes a new pizza. And we're like, oh shit, they're gonna reinvent the pizza again. And they go, that spice? More of it. And we go, oh, okay, well, I mean, yeah, that spice was good. So yeah, more of it's always better. And then they're like, another new pizza. And we're like, oh, okay, let's see what they do there. More of the same spice. Okay, all right. All right, I see what they're doing. Not that I don't want more spice every time they give it to us. I'm happy to get it. It's just... we're not changing the rules of how a game works, you know. Like we did back when we went from Super Nintendo to the N64. Talk about the technology jump from the Super Nintendo to the N64. To the PlayStation. Like... shit's changed, man. Super Mario World to Super Mario 64. Final Fantasy VI to Final Fantasy VII. You gotta understand, Final Fantasy VI was just out when Final Fantasy VII came out. Like, not like months, but like the last thing to come out was 6. Boom, 7's there, you know? So yeah, to be able to capture that lightning in a bottle twice, there's a huge element of the technology allowing you to do something completely new that's never been done before, and that's going to carry a lot of the hype and love and the nostalgia for that game. And yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 ain't going to do that. You're not introducing a whole new piece of equipment that has changed the way video games are made and played for the rest of history. All of those first 3D games are landmark, and there's a reason Ocarina of Time is still my greatest video game to date. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Alright. We don't have a gambit on Vaughn to... Why is that, Nick? So that's why you feel that one of the reasons D&D is so popular right now? Explain that thought. That this is an experience people haven't had before, or what do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't disagree. D&D is very popular right now. There has been a huge surgence of D&D.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Missed some loot. Oh, yep. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, the thing that D&D has that video games don't have right now. And we could get to an extent, but you can never... not in the way that we know video games today ever truly replicate what D&D does, and that is... D&D, you're not working with preset code and a human's ability to try and predict the future of what you're going to want to do, you know? Can I predict that, you know, you might want to run off a cliff? Yeah, I could predict that, just to see what happens. So can I write in code that allows you to actually run off that cliff and die? Sure. Sure, I could do that. But I can't predict that you're going to want to get to the final big boss of the game and make a ham sandwich and slap him in the face with it. I can't predict that you're going to want to do that. Can you do that in D&D? Sure as fuck can. Abso-fucking-lutely. You can do that. You can do anything that your DM can make sense out of what you're saying, so long as you are speaking a language to your DM that he understands or she understands. Yes, and you're not being ridiculous. You can't, your DM's got to agree with it, right? But anything that's reasonable, you can absolutely do in D&D, and you can't do that with video games. I do see, and I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be the case, that a video game, that video games could get to a point where we create just a incredible amount of assets and data and information to give like a database to somebody who plays as a DM, and then people can load in and play a video game that's being actively built by that dungeon master. And I mean, we're not too far off. You look at Roll20, and you look at like Fantasy Grounds, which allows you to play D&D online with your friends. It's not far off from the old DOS style, dungeon crawler RPGs where, instead of hearing text, you hear somebody over voice comm telling you what's going on, and then you're seeing a picture pop up in front of you, and you're responding to the picture, and you're inputting some information, and you're getting answers back from it. Like, that's not too far off from the old... But, like, to get to a point where we can, like, load in a model, a 3D model that attacks and stuff, we're going to get there, but still, people got to predict what you're going to try and do. That's hard. Yeah, the most recent D&D communities out there are actually turning D&D into like an MMO-esque experience where you make your character, and there's Discord servers and, like you said, the Adventurers League, and basically you just go online and you just sign up. People post quests on a bulletin board, and you just sign up for it. And then you go run that quest, and then you leave. Like, it's very much, we're living a mercenary's life in D&D these days.
Yeah.
It looks like we didn't finish exploring everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you could probably just Google it, to be honest. I need to set her gambits. I didn't set those at all. Oh, can't tell you how much I wish there was just like an auto. Like here's a like auto mage set of gambits. We need more of these gambit things. Don't want to just use an ether. I'm gonna learn charge eventually. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Turn that off until we get charge, which allows her to regenerate her mana. Okay, so now self HP less than 50%. Cure. That doesn't make any sense. Why are you attacking? Greater than. Less than. That's what I wanted. Okay, and no. Gambit. Top priority needs to be healing yourself. Why? I would have liked it if they made this game a little bit more actually MMO-y, where there's some innate aggro generation by the person who's a knight. Because everybody just attacks Penelo, and she just sits there and has to tank it. And like, I don't have like a taunt or anything. At least not yet. I don't. See, like the instant she attacks, they change targets. If you go, you can search the Adventures League, Great Compone. Also, you could probably just do some Google searching for like D&D Discord and just see what kind of communities are out there. Save. Okay. Go explore the map to the left here a little bit. I'm not sure. There might be like 2 gates in my way or something. Dumb! Nice. I'm gonna Google it right now. How to tank in FF12. There's practically no way to reliably tank, so for whatever bizarre reason, Square Enix decided to make Decoy a negative status. So not only can it be removed when trying to get rid of something else, it can also miss. And boy will it miss. Yep, basically what I'm griping about is just a thing. Like, people are saying, like, just like there's no mechanic built to try and keep damage on the big tough guy. So my mages are just gonna tank all of Final Fantasy XII. That's just the way it's gonna be. Heal, Pinello. What's a shame about it though is Final Fantasy X, while being turn-based, just established that with Sentinel, the ability Sentinel, that they like, you know, were working towards a tanking system. I mean, there is a way to pull aggro, but the bottom line, I'm thinking that there's a way to pull aggro, because bottom line is the mage. Every time she hits with fire, this guy quickly stops being interested, just like that. He's not interested in boxing anymore. So clearly the fact that she's hitting hard is doing something. Let me in! Guys, I made a mistake. I done fucked up, alright? I fucked up kind of big. But it's okay, we're just gonna say I did it on purpose so that we could grind. Alright, we had a death there because the game split DPS. What did I do? What I did was not talk to the person who posted this bounty before coming into the mines. Therefore, what I'm supposed to kill here in the mines is not here. Okay, let's get ourselves acclimated here for a second. Does slow not, like, come off with time? And slow does come off with time. Whatever. I think it's gonna be time for me to make some coffee here. Once we get out. Let's actually flee. What's up, Ghost Slayer? How you doing? Not too bad, just chilling. Nice. Nice. Alright, everything's fine. Everybody's alive. We just have more XP. Yes, I will kill the Nidhogg. The shaft splits in two ahead. Our prayers go with you. Beer. Alright, so licenses. Why would you give me Excalibur? $40, and then we're gonna take more HP there. Okay, so now let's head back in. And he says where the path splits in two. Thank you, baby. Eating pizza? No. She made me a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's that split over there. Vanilla, why are you not healing? Tell me he's not under 40%?
Yeah.
That's under 40%. Okay. Welcome back, huh?
I must endure.
I don't know what I'm doing during these things. Yeah, we're on the hunt for Nidhogg. That's the guy that I'm fighting right now. Nidhogg's a continuous... Another one of those Final Fantasy memes that keeps popping up. Winter. So sorry. Okay, there's something going on. You just taking a lot of damage here in the twilight hour? Good gravy. That last percent, he just did not want to give up. You tell her, be like, Ma, you're the problem. Point, the damage is already done. Yeah. Luckily, my parents have been really good about it. It's all good, Noah. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the stream today, we're gonna slowly work on the prep work for History of Gaming Zelda. But we won't start playing those games until after we're done with the Final Fantasy Challenge. So, essentially, we have now through Final Fantasy 15 to get our research and everything done on Zelda. So we got time. Yeah, I get it, Winter. I felt really bad the other day, and my mom totally didn't. She misunderstood what I was trying to say. But the other day we went grocery shopping. My dad's a big car nut. He loves cars. Mopar in particular. And he's also a really big Led Zeppelin fan. And I'm at the store. And so because he's into cars, he collects Hot Wheels, but like specifically like Chargers and Challenger Hot Wheels. He doesn't just get all Hot Wheels. He gets Hot Wheels of the cars that he likes. And I'm at the store, and there's this 5-car run of Hot Wheels based on the first 5 Led Zeppelin covers. Album covers. And all of them were right there. I was shopping, and I just turned and look, and all 5 of the entire set's like right there. I was like, oh my god. This is amazing. My dad will love this. So I grabbed him, bought him for him, and then I was just too excited. I wanted him to see him. So after we got our groceries home, I took Clorox wipes and I got them out of their bag, wiped them down, put them in a bag that we knew was clean, and threw away the bag that came from the store. And then I went and washed my hands and washed my face and like scrubbed myself down. And then I threw on a mask and went over to my parents' place. But like wanted to give it to them, you know? But I did what I could to keep things clean before I took them over there. And so I'm confident I didn't bring anything in there. But then as soon as like I get home the next day, there's a assisted living facility right around the corner, and we see in the news the next day, and that assisted living facility is right next to where we grocery shop. That assisted living facility had 12 deaths in the last week, and then another 13 confirmed cases. So like that place just blew up, and it's right next to where we grocery shop. So we sent a message to my mom like, hey, you know, I was just in your house, like, be careful. Like, make sure you scrub down anything, and make sure you wash your hands extra good. This retirement home, this assisted living area, just blown up with it. For whatever reason, though, I think the way that my mom read it was like, they're old and they died, and you're old, so you're gonna die. And I was like, no, like, it's just, what I meant was it was nearby where I was. And a bunch of cases got out, so like, be careful. She's like, what does it have to do with the fact that it's assisted living? I don't live in some assisted living home. And I'm like, Mom, I know. That wasn't the point. Ooh, nice. We got a balaclava out of that. Somebody's gonna get an upgrade. Great serpent skin. Why do I feel like I should not sell that? Yeah, you did tell us about that, Noah. Like, that's ridiculous. Big Killer, what's up, buddy? What was it that I wanted? I wanted this. Oh, I already bought it. Heaven's Wrath, huh? Let's go. Do that. Okay, so that's good. And then Black Mage in it. That's good. Let's take a look at equipping the Rose Corsage. Yes. It's good. This is a thing that I like. Having fun? Yes. Yeah. Final Fantasy XII is great. It is the bueno. Okay, so now let us I didn't realize we had so many of those. Wow, man, we really make a killing on those. Got stumped on Zodiac Age. I'm not good with games that are like choose your own class. Yeah. Well, the nice thing about this particular version, well, now all versions of the new Zodiac, because they just patched it the other day, is that you can change your class. So if you took a class that you feel like hasn't been beneficial to you, like Shikari has not been beneficial to Vaughn, will most likely change his class over to Samurai at some point. That's good. Wish it would just like always auto sort, like just do it all the time, please. Thank you. Yeah, for the longest time, if you had the PS4 or the PC version, you could not change out these job classes after these license boards. Now, all you gotta do is get back to the main city, Abanastre or whatever it's called, and boom. Good as gold. Let's go buy some spells. Oh shit, hold on. We got some things we gotta watch. Two hours, 5 hours. That's got a day on it. What is my... Sorry, guys. I got some things cooking on eBay that I'm watching like a hawk right now. Sometimes I feel like people are just stone cold idiots, dude. There is a game that I was following, and it goes for like $12 across the board. Some guy like bid me up to like $20 on it, and I was just like, all right. I'll just go buy it now, this other one, for $12 that's in better condition than the one you jacked the price up on me, but okay, bye. And I love how people say mint, and I can see, like, damage on the cover art and stuff like that, and they're like, it's mint. No, it isn't, you dumbass. That's not mint. And we're already blowing through money. Not the right kind of mint, goddammit. Alright, so 2.5 hours from now, just under 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. So those two will happen real close to each other. And then one that's 5 hours and 30 minutes from now. So like that one's way later tonight, but we gotta watch all of them though. Oh, I ain't talking about what I'm gonna get. The secret until the bids are over. Worst thing I could do is go on the internet and get poached. I kind of want to go back and farm the shit out of those skeletons. It made me a ton of money. Isn't there a bulletin board here somewhere? Here it is. Alright, we gotta go to the Rabanastre weapon shop. How much money are we sitting on? Just under $5 grand. That's still a good chunk of cash. Hey Max, what's up, bud? Up. Found the breadcrumbs I dropped. I see now, if I say private cabin, it just takes me straight there and I don't have to wander around this ship, I assume. Yep, it just spits me out in Rabanastre. That's good, yo. That's the stuff I like. That's 2 hunts down. Almost went the wrong way. Time for a 3rd hunt. And I think we're caught up on hunts. And we'll start working on hinds. No? Okay, orders led us through the Wester Sand and further west into the Sand Sea. We had arrived at the western edge of the Nam Yensa Sand Sea when we saw in the sky the Wyvern Lord. Okay. Okay, this guy's being a good dude. How many Star Wars comparisons were made this stream? We brought it up, but I don't know if we made any new comparisons. So, he's out west. That's really all we know. I don't know what I want to do about it. I definitely want... Yeah, let's buy these two. Why do they even have art for the armor if you're not going to wear it? You see that down there? Why even do this? That horned hat? Nobody's ever going to put that on. Oh, we got to summon Magni? I think he's eating right now, but... Yeah, we'll bring him on here in a second. horned hat's too big for Magni. Look at that Monster Hunter sword in the back. Fuck it. Doing it. Let's go. All right, let me make some coffee. Grab a bottle of water. And we'll be right back. And then we'll do that Magni summoning. Don't go nowhere.